Identity check with Tamra. Identity check with Tamra. Identity check with Tamra.
Hey y'all. I'm getting fancy now. I got me an intro. Y'all like that? Put a comment down if you like it. Um, so welcome to Identity Check. This is an opportunity where we have some conversation, incorporate a little music, and just reminds of who or learn who we are in God, who God is, and how the relationships intertwine and what that means for our lives. That's what we do. I hope that you will continue to join, share, let folks know about what's going on here. I am Tamra Rose, your host for tonight. And I'm really excited. I want to go ahead and get to Psalms 91. And this, most of you could probably quote Psalms 91. You've heard it before sometime in your life, even if you really never had a true experience in the church. Psalms 91 is kind of a token that a lot of people know, that a lot of people are able to reference or have heard or have been referenced as point. And so I have heard this scripture. It was one of our scriptures or chapters that we memorized as children in vacation Bible school. And so as I was coming to know God, because I've just been very transparent about my journey during these sessions about coming to Christ. I'm a pew baby in the church, pretty much. Was going to church 6, 7, 10 days a week as a child. And so very churched. But as I grew older and I knew God to be, true, I knew that, when the saints got together, prayers, when things happened, I knew that, my mama could pray me and my daddy could pray me through, whatever situation. And even my own self, I could pray and see some benefit prayer. But I wasn't quite experiencing God in my everyday life, not just on Sundays or in those times of despair or need, but I want you to be in my everyday life. I feel like I should see the fullness of the scriptures being manifested in my life, and I wasn't seeing that. So I was like either this stuff ain't real, which I know is real because I've had my own experience, or I'm not doing it right. So I was like, let me go on and take a deeper look, see what I'm missing. And so as I in my prayer time, Psalms 91 just kept coming to me. And so I quoted it every day for a year. And I mean, I was getting tidbits and pieces, and I knew it was a scripture for security. I knew it was a scripture for protection. But then it just blew up. And I did some research. I really dug into the word. I did some word study, did the exegesis, and I was able to really come into a whole different perspective. So I'll leave this tidbit. Whenever you are reading the Bible, you should always pray, ask God to give you the interpretation, to give you revelation in the word that you're reading, so that you can get the fullness of it. Because like I told you, I read this for a year, and definitely I was seeing some manifestation in my life. But when I really just pleaded before God, I was like, "Look, now you keep telling me to read this chapter, and I don't think that it's doing that much." That's when I got a deeper revelation, and so I'm going to share that with you over the next few weeks. So I'm gonna sing. I like to sing. So excuse me. And I am really dehydrated. I don't know. I traveled a lot this weekend, and so I'll be drinking more than normal. But this has kind of been my anthem that I came up with from referencing Psalms 91. So it's just bringing out some of the key points of Psalms 91 into this little 90-seconder. So, and I haven't really titled this, but I guess it would be Never Let Me Fall. So, here, maybe. Trying something a little different. 10 toes planted, I am standing strong, walking out God's will, singing my victory song. Angels on both sides, so nothing's gonna go wrong. I put my trust in you, so you won't let me fall. No, you won't let me fall. So I put my trust in you. You'll never let me fall. Oh. 10 days I am staying strong. I'm walking out of your will, singing my victory song. Angels on both sides, so nothing's gonna go wrong. I put my trust in you, and you won't let me fall. Oh, you won't let me fall. Hey, I put my trust in you. You won't let me fall. Oh, I trust you, Lord. Hey. Yes. So that's that. And so maybe I'll upload that one. I don't know. But that's kind of been my victory song. That's been the song that I have just been singing over and over to help me to reiterate the truths of Psalm 91. And so I want to break it all the way down so we can live this out. So Psalms 91 says, He that dwelleth, Mary endures, sits down in the secret place, the covering and protection of God, of the Most High, the elevated God, shall abide, stay permanently, without shadow, the shade and protection of the Almighty true God. So basically, what's that saying? And those little inferences that I put, those are breakdowns of the words. So if you use your strong concordance, you can see those same words that I just broke down, the meaning of those. It's important to know the context of the words and the true meaning, because some of the words are different. Excuse me, have a different excuse me, a different meaning than what we are accustomed to with that word. So it's always good to kind of look into your concordance and see what those words mean. Basically, Psalms 91 is saying, listen, when me, choose to endure, I will receive his protection wholeheartedly, full, without any complaint. And he's going to elevate me to his perspective to be able to receive that. And then we go to Psalms 91 and 2. I will say boldly with confidence of the Lord, the one true God. He is my refuge, my shelter from danger and falsehood, and my fortress, protection from dangerous situations and the of prey. My God, in him will I trust, confide, run to, find refuge in. So basically, once you are getting that protection full from Psalms 91 and 2, I'm going to proclaim that's going to now be my declaration, and I'm going to receive it whole. I'm going to choose to always run and let that be my only source for protection. So basically, Psalms 91 and Psalms 92 says, when I make the choice to endure, to sit under the protection of God permanently, I will receive that protection completely. And when I receive that completely, then I, Tamra, will boldly proclaim and stand confident that God is my only source for protection. And when I do that, I will always go to him for that protection. What is the protection? Protection is against falsehood, danger, unseen, and the net of prey. So we are going to talk about those throughout this session, what those really mean, and dive a little more into. But in order to be able to really understand this scripture and the rest of what we're going to go through in any scripture, really, we have to understand our definition. So, safety is a condition of being protected from danger, risk, or injury, or the unlikely cause of danger, risk, or injury. So, it's a relative definition. We define what those conditions of protection. Why some people can be very, safe in one type of environment, and other people like that's not a safe environment. Like I grew up in the hood. I mean, guns and drugs and prostitution, that was part of my neighborhood. But I felt safe there. I knew the people. I knew everybody, and they knew me, and we just did what we did. So I felt safe there, but that was not necessarily a safe environment. So it's all relative. Those conditions of being protected are all within our own idea. And that idea is made up of our nurture. So I know I'm down a lot tonight, but I have to set this precedent so that we can be able to really glean and learn here. So we create this definition. So there's nurture. I know you've heard this before. There's nurture and there is nature. So our natures are just genetic makeup. It's just very black and white DNA. Boom. Then our nurture is all the experiences that we have had in life that have created who we are, that have molded us into the governmental system that we are. So how we regulate ourselves, how we make decisions, the people that we choose to let in and out of our lives, excuse me, the situations that we pursue. Told you I'm be drinking tonight. So that is where nurture comes from. And nurture, so I want to I'll break down nurture just a little bit more so you can kind of get a better understanding. So I've broken it down into 3 different areas. So you have your first, which is your familial. So that is the people that you grew up with every day in your family. That was our cousins, nieces and nephews. Some of us that was group home. Some of us it was just the streets, people from the streets. So whoever you were in close contact with every single day, those usually have more impact than any, because they were that daily influence. So you have your familial influences. Then you have your communal, which is a little bit broader out, but those are the people that in the outskirts of your town. So what you did, whatever you spent your time doing outside of your group home, outside of the normal your street neighborhood, those things. So your church, your synagogue or place of worship, your community organizations, where mom and dad or cousin or grandma used to take you to, the bingo house, whatever. That communal influence, you have that. So the interactions that you had in those situations, those made a part of your nurture. And then the last one is a global, and that's kind of really odd, and that is more of like racial systems and social systems and our governmental systems. So when I was young, we were on support. So the welfare system was definitely dictating portions of my life. So they were saying how much food stamps we got, when we got them. What I was a government cheese kid. What portions we got, all of that kind of stuff. They dictated those things to us, and those situations and those boundaries, those also had an influence. So all of these things, all of these experiences that you encounter, all of these situations that you encounter, both directly and indirectly. So something one-on-one, somebody directly told you, or something that you saw your auntie, beat every weekend if she didn't do such and such and such. So you said that ain't never gonna be me. So I'm not gonna never let no man do that to me. And you made a law in your heart. Um, you saw something good. It's both good and bad. You saw something good. You saw that, you know, your neighbor down the street was always so sweet and kind to her children. And maybe your mother yelled a lot. So you said, I'm not gonna be like my mama and yell. I'm gonna be like this woman, and I'm gonna be sweet and kind to my children when I grow up. So we make the laws within our heart. We see the stimuli, we see things that happen within our lives, situations, opportunities, experiences, and we bring those in and we make decisions on how we're going to rule our life, how we're going to operate in this world based off of those things. So you have that, and that's natural. Everybody has it, everybody does it. That's why sometimes you can put them in two different situations, and some of their things will be alike because they have that nature, that same DNA, but because they were nurtured different, they make different decisions. So that's where we get our nurture. So those are like the lenses in which we see the world. And all the truth, all the information that we receive after we've made those declarations in our heart is how we're going to receive information. So if, I use the example, my auntie used to get beat by my uncle every night. So I'm not going to let a man do that. So now in my head, as I view men in that way, that they are not safe and I have to protect myself. So I will respond to men with that idea. Even if they're a good man, that response might be pushed back some, and I might, be more open and willing to them, but it's there. And as soon as they act like they gon' what? None of this. Because that law is there, right? So we have those laws in our heart, and we have and then when we have trauma on top of all of that, that trauma really can really speak, because that trauma causes us to feel very, very unsafe, feel like, we are in survival mode. Excuse me. With our nurture, it is important to know what our definition of safety is in order for us to be able to see God's definition or to receive his. Because if we just take this information in and we say, okay, this is great information, I take it in, my laws in my heart are going to say, I don't know about that, I don't know about that one, I don't know about that one, but we'll take this piece. And so I'm not getting the full truth, and then I won't see the fullness of that truth. I won't be enduring that protection. I'll be what part of that protection I want. I won't be just saying, okay, God, protect me your way. I won't do that, because I'll be like, that part don't sound good to me. That don't fit with my definition of safety. So that's unsafe. I'm not going to do that. And then we do that unconsciously and don't even realize it. We do it with everything. We do it with a lot of things. That information we are sifting through with those laws that we've created in our heart. So I admonish you, before we go any further, Psalms 91, I want you to safety for yourself. What does safety mean to you? What do you need to be? What I used to need to be safe, and yes, I say used to because he is changing my life and perspective, but what I used to need to save was to control and to be able to use my ability, my intellect. Like if I could be two steps ahead, if I, had this little bit of money tucked away, I'd be all right with you, being in charge of the money because I got to fail safe. If control, then I felt like I was safe. No matter what situation I was in. It could be a very unsafe situation, but I felt safe because I felt like I had control. If I did not have control, then I felt very unsafe, even if it was a very safe situation. So I'm going to leave you with that. And then next week, we're going to dig a little deeper into that, and we'll go on and learn about what God's protection looks like in our life, what we should really be able to glean from his protection, and how, we're supposed to be in a fruitful life. So I hope you enjoyed it. I did give quite a bit of information. So watch it again, only 20 minutes. You can watch it, listen to it on your way back and forth to work, or while you're washing dishes or something like that. But we want um the truth to be whole. And so I admonish you to do that. And I love you, and I'll see you next week.